So as you mentioned, Marcello, there's a wide array of different decks that have been played all throughout the weekend, and it was time that we saw dragons. We saw Naturia Runick earlier in the stream, but a little bit of a different take on this. He's playing the Ishizu cards, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing this match because on one hand, Daniel is relying on one of the most seeing deck this weekend. I mean, I think we talked about how consistent the Naturia Runick deck is, but also with this addition of the one-offs now, no?
Yep.
And on the other side, though, we have seen, I mean, Dragon Link over the past few years competing again and again, and here we see, here in action with the Brander regained.
Branded, regained, hard drawn here.
I think Aaron might have booked, you know, a restaurant reservation because he's going like, oh, chill out. Come on, give us a moment. Yeah, it's like, wow.
Yeah, no, that is as good as it gets as an opening, I think, for your starter. Regained plus a plus the red MD with the search off of the Black Meadow Dragon. Typically normal summon. I mean, you want to go for Sephard. Is he playing Sephard?
Yeah,
he is. He's also playing.
Yeah.
Is he playing 60?
I think he's playing.
I think he doesn't play 40.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, typically the higher the deck goes, the more normal summons you need. So it makes sense for you want to play 3 and 3. And yeah, Dragon Link. Well, I mean, what can we say? This deck has so much history, beginning somewhere probably around about the Guard Dragon. Pain?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost said it wrong. And the LP, and coming so far since, losing so many tools in the process, losing Halka Fibrax, Link Cross, and more recently Magical Dragon. So incorporating a new engine, the Bystials.
Yeah. Seems like Burning Abyss, I would say, no? Like, you're familiar with that.
Low blow,
like
man.
low
Low blow.
spaces after one another, but still resist, no?
What you're telling him is that he should give up.
No, I'm not saying this. Absolutely not.
All right, well, Hieratic Dragon of Seals is made here, and what an incredible card just by itself. So the advantage of going with it so early is that if your opponent is on Nibiru in the main deck, at the very least, you are going to be able to trigger the effect in the graveyard, which is when it's tributed, it special summons any dragon monster from your deck.
And here we do see this Bystials that we were talking about, both the Saronir and the Lebellion, which now will be activated to send yet the Magnum to the grave. So,
and it's very nice to see, honestly, how the variant of Dragon Link have been evolving throughout this time, no? And here, I mean, once again, we have been having another different kind of matchup that we have seen the past turns, and here, another Magnamus being sent to the graveyard. A very nice start from Aaron.
Yeah, and also at the same time, it is true that there is, as we saw in the previous round, 19% of Kashtira, but the deck right after is branded, and Bystials are amazing in the main deck, or in the side deck against branded. So I think that's maybe why Aaron is doing well.
Well, I will say that Aaron has been playing Dragons and basically every iteration of Dragon for a long time now. I've been following him quite a lot through his journeys in North America. He's topped innumerable amount of regionals with various Dragon decks, and it's cool to see that he's evolved it to the modern stage it's at today.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like much, but it's honest work, isn't it?
It is. And okay, now finally the deck from his opponent is revealed to Aaron, and it is Naturia Runick, as mentioned. And we do see a pretty good mixture, because I think he has four Runick cards and a couple of Naturias, yeah.
Good start for sure from both players here, opening decently well, so hopefully get a good little back and forth here as Camellia resolves sending the Naturia Sacred Tree, which adds any Naturia card, going for the Blessing, and that is going to be the Reborn theme style for the deck. So trying to maybe see if we can pick apart some of this deck with the Runick cards.
It's not going to be easy, because on one hand there's the Brander Regain that brings up on the field the Magnamut, and in the end phase will search for another one, and then if he really wants to, there's also the Beast that basically will tribute one dragon to destroy one face-up monster of his opponent.
But the Sunflower is coming down.
Yeah.
Alright, so does not use the Branded Beast immediately on the Sunflower. Looks like we're going to hold off a little bit as he tries to, I think Aaron probably wants to use it as late as possible here. And if there's one way to force it out, it is Runick Tip.
Wow, plus, plus the Fountain. Starlight, by the way. So, yeah, great hand from Daniel.
Do you think there was an argument just before activating a Runick card it was maybe worth going into the battle phase before you get those skips to force out the seal?
Potentially, yes. At the same time, maybe he's fine with this. The seal is not like he can do much as he has double negation from the Sunflower. What I'm more interested in is, does Aaron have any, weird targets for the sphere? Like we've seen in the past, Kokimeru Drago.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different cards that you can summon off this Drago, as you mentioned. I think Sloth as well is also popular.
Sloth, yeah.
No, but he's not playing any, actually. I mean, he's playing the started ones, but...
Personally, my favorite has been Albaz. So special summon Albaz off the seal, make a Mirror Jade on your opponent's turn. But doesn't look like...
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, he doesn't really use any of this, and then it's up to Daniel, who is now in a really, really good spot. As we mentioned, when you get both engines going, this deck gets so many +1s easily. Did he get to the Destruction, maybe, as a way to get rid of some of these spell traps? Let's see.
So Dispelling might be what he's going for here? No? Okay. I think I would be tempted to try get Hugin up as quickly as possible, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Protection effect.
Okay, after thinking about it for a long time, he finally goes for the Flashing Fire on the Lubellion, it seems like.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, not the greatest at the moment, but he's just gonna try and force out this piece, but you have another monster.
That's why I was concerned, well, doesn't really deal with the...
It seems like he's getting a little greedy and just trying to draw some cards with this Runick card,
The Runick Fountain can be used at...
And he does have the Destruction, wow. This is really strong. He gets to draw 3 cards at the end of this, and gonna keep on banishing some cards from the top of the deck, and it's 3 copies of Chaos Space already banished. Yeah.
Is there any synergy potentially with banishing Bystials?
No,
not really.
Yeah, not really. But yeah, no, we can get back 5 or 4, but yeah, we can get back 3, get 3 draws, and that's good enough to me.
Here's the activation of Fountain, and it does have to remain face up on the field in order to resolve, so if Aaron wants, he has a couple of options here. You can go for the Hieratic Dragon to return it to the hand so it won't resolve, although not super ideal because, generally you want to use that.
Wow.
Wait,
okay.
Did we just negate and destroy?
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't use the previous, did
he? The substitution of the Sunflower? I don't think so.
No, he did not. So interesting.
Yeah, so Sunflower has an effect that if your opponent activates Multifair, you can negate and destroy it. While Camellia is on the field, you can actually substitute the tributing requirement of Sunflower just by simply milling 2. And just didn't look like he
didn't opt to use it. But now Press is on with this Blessing.
All right, Naturia Blessing bringing the Camellia back here, and I don't think Aaron has too much here in way of resources to disrupt this any further.
I mean, it looked as if it was a good opening, but Daniel really efficient in breaking this field down. So
yeah, I think he's playing out very well, because here once again the Sunflower comes back, and with the cards just being drawn from the fountain.
Also, by the way, the fountain is technically once per turn, but you can use a second copy potentially if you want. So then you can use it again. So let's see.
Do you know the thing with Dragon Link that I suppose the only reason that would make me really scared to play at this format is Striker Dragon's at 1.
Yeah.
And when Rise Heart's running around, that's it's very scary.
There are a few. Also, Nibiru might be scary if they are using it, against similar decks. Then it's tough. I don't know, but it's working out for him. And again, surprise factor might play its role. It has been a while, as we mentioned, since the last time this deck was really top tier, and some players might have not even tested against at all. So.
Well, been talking to my friend Herman, who swears by this deck and says, honestly, every matchup is free except Cash Zero. So as long as you win the dice roll, he's pretty confident. And well, if that's any advice to go by, then this should be a good matchup for Aaron.
Absolutely.
Aaron kind of rhymes with Herman.
Fair enough. But here we see the beauty of Magna mode in a deck like this. It searches any dragon, so that's why we got to the Levian here. And yeah, it's always nice to see this diversity. We saw it in Pendulum, for example, searching Gluster, and now we saw it with the Levianeer.
Levianeer going to banish a mixture of lights and darks, which allows it to use the effect to destroy up to 2 cards on the field here, but still have Hugin. Chaining the Runick Destruction in response so that the regain doesn't benefit from the banishing of the dragons here. And there's a lot of resources that you lose against Runick sometimes. I don't think anything particularly important has been hit so far, but it is always really scary if an important engine piece has been removed.
Now, as you can see, he's debating whether to use Fountain. But the Levianeer apparently is using the effect. Let's see.
Yeah, so Levianeer does not target, meaning that it actually gets to resolve. Oh, wait, hang on. So is it because when you destroy Hugin at the same time as Fountain, it's already marked for destruction, so you can't use the substitution effect to protect it? I think is what happened there.
It should be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when basically, okay, so just to explain for everyone at home, Levianeer destroys on resolution, it doesn't target, and when that happens, you can generally, against the typical destruction effect, Hugin can just simply banish itself to protect from destruction, but because Levianeer does so on resolution, while also selecting Hugin, you can't substitute a card that's already being destroyed.
Yep, very well explained, and here we get to see the Sunflower, but there is an infinite impermanence face down to shut it.
Did he mill the Agido?
Yes, he did actually. Yeah, we mentioned it at the start. He is playing those Ashizu cards, isn't he?
Exactly. The previous Naturia Runick player is not Wu, but we see a Book of Moon. Nice. To make it so that it actually resolves. Interesting. And now we can get to actually mill 5. Potentially, if he has it. Let's see.
I mean, the only real synergy is milling Runicks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's playing also the Keldon Mudora.
Yeah.
He's playing all of the 4 copies you can now access. So.
And also, Aaron lost quite a few cards, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's a lot off the top here. And yeah, as you mentioned, Medora and Kelbeck, absolutely amazing cards. Just these quick play effects from your graveyard that you can banish as cost. So it can't even be hit by something like Call by the Grave to allow you to shuffle back 3 cards. From either graveyard as well, not just your opponent. So if it ever comes up, you can recycle your own resources, for example.
Do you think he forgot about it though, or didn't use it on purpose?
Oh, he didn't.
He just picks up his cards and yes, enough. So Aaron, after a convincing turn 1, but what it looked like was not enough against the Daniel opening, turned out to be in favor of Aaron, who takes this game 1. And now we are gonna go to the side decks, and it's definitely a tough position for Daniel.
See, I told you, it wasn't much, but it was honest work.
Exactly.
Just a simple seal, a branded beast. Somehow Dragon just survives.
Exactly. I mean, the Magnum was the MVP.
Yeah.
He got to the Levianeer, and I mean, it's still, as you mentioned, banishing a mix of light and dark monsters. It's always been good. We saw it in the Time Wizard tournaments, both with Tom and his Chaos Sorcerers, and with you and your Chaos Sorcerer against me. But
listen, as a wise man once said, I'm a banish a light in the dark.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, now let's go back to the side decks, and Daniel gonna go first, most likely, trying to set up his board. Maybe though, Naturia Beast not the greatest against the Dragon Link.
No, that's the point.
It's okay.
I mean, it's okay, but the thing is that by going first, he has once again a lot of cards by going second, as we saw so far this weekend. And I mean, against Dragon Link Gameciel, I think is a very good card. But I mean, again, going first, he might not even considering not to side in. He has Bystials, but
I think he has 15 cards for going second.
yeah,
Kind of. But yeah.
potentially, but yeah.
I mean, he can improvise. Obviously, the Bystials are pretty decent against this matchup. Impermanence always okay, but probably gonna prioritize on just setting up his Runick Naturia combos.
Could also consider going second. I mean, looking at the side deck, but I mean, on the other side, Aaron is just. I mean, I think he's more than prepared. He's curious.
Never seen skill drain in a dragon deck before, I think.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But yeah, as we mentioned, he is going to be going second, so unlikely for that to be the case.
I think that would be nice, because basically in this deck with the regain, you just bring back on the field the Bystials and.
At the same time, what I don't like too much is that, as you mentioned, it's not something we have seen yet, and it would make sense in a traditional Dragon Link deck because nobody's gonna side, Feather Duster, Cosmic Cyclone. But when you play Regained and Beast, they're most likely gonna use those cards. So like skill drain is not that great because
so it conflicts with the mind game aspect that you're trying to establish.
Especially because if you play cards like Feather Duster, then it gets rid of all of them, not just one. But regardless, we'll see if that works. For now, it's Daniel who is gonna go first. So let's go back to game 2.
So going first with Naturia Runick, we discussed a little bit about it in the previous rounds here. You're trying to, resolve as many of those Runick cards as possible, hopefully get into a fountain for 3, draw basically any of your Naturia cards, and you can get into that portion of the engine, establish a Naturia Beast with multiple disruptions from your hand with the Runick cards, and that is sort of the ideal kind of game plan that you're going for, as well as the monster negates with the Sunflower.
And we are discarding a Magnamut here, which is definitely a bold move. It's really strong in this matchup. But
yeah, so the deck list for Daniel doesn't actually have, as we mentioned, too many going first cards. So, putting in a bunch of Bystials, DD Cruel effect style, is pretty okay against dragons. It's not terrible.
Definitely not. And we are also going pretty fast here.
Oh.
Into a Coral Dragon.
Ooh, wow, okay.
Right. I love this, honestly, because I don't know if you remember the sort of Runick Synchro deck that some people kind of played around with last format. Yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of, things like Fabled Cerebral and stuff. Yeah, things like, so definitely know what we're doing here, but the Coral Dragon is a tuner Synchro, which means that what you're going to do here is special summon Jerry. He's a level 4, returning back to the deck with the Fountain, and on resolution, you draw 3 and also get to make Baron. Or Cheng Ying, potentially.
Yeah, and drew one more. So
very good stuff from him, honestly, at a full speed.
I like it. I like it a lot. As you mentioned, here you can see one more synergy of this specific deck, and makes sense. And wow! Nice.
Sometimes you just draw both the 1 and 1 together.
Yeah.
That's great.
Keldo into Mudora, very powerful also, because now he gets the Kel back.
Yes, double shuffler essentially with the Baron, plus the Kel back, which is also an interruption.
That's absolutely incredible.
Really strong start. Gonna draw a card for the Coral Dragon here.
I mean, all that's left is to normal summon Camellia.
Which he did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry. Long day. So do you think we can establish a Nap Beast as well on top of all of this?
No.
That'd be too much.
Let's be humble. This is fine.
Be realistic here.
Yeah.
All right, so Baron...
Whoa! And okay. No, I mean, whoa. Wow.
So,
Maybe.
Naturally forced out versus the Baron on the floor, but remember, Baron is not your typical boss monster negate. It is once while this card is on the field. So, Nibiru kind of doing its job, I suppose.
Yeah. Not exactly what his job usually is, but yeah, he's trying his best again. And actually, the Dark Ruler would have been a sick top deck if it wasn't banished by Tip, so yeah.
All right, so going second into this field here, Aaron is, he's down a card, and that is permanence. Oh, he was thinking about tagging in.
Yeah, but Baron is already used.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was using the tag out effect, right, to bring back.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think that's what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like he was targeting the Camellia in the standby phase.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So, but still...
Still a lot to fight through here, yeah, especially after drawing so many cards here. Oh,
Wow.
The question, yeah, what I was thinking is it better? Or like, do you just allow the Baron and then use the impermanence on the Camellia?
or
like-
even potentially just for the Sunflower
Yeah,
when it comes out,
I mean,
you know? But yeah, I
yeah.
see what you're saying, just hold for it, and
it's like...
because he gets to it anyway.
And the Blessing doesn't do anything by that. Like, if the face down is Blessing, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking posteriors, but like, it's still, I think... Oh, is that it?
And he picks up his cards.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
just too much.
Wow, okay. I mean, we mentioned it. It was a really, really strong opening, but kind of an underwhelming, I guess, course of action. It was just too much. He tried his best, but the opening was very straightforward. I mean, it was strong. Camellia plus any Runick card, though, pretty much does what we have seen. He needed a few more to go through the draws, but essentially he drew 4 cards on the very first turn, and then, yeah, made the Baron, and obviously it helped that he had some shufflers, but yeah, really, really solid stuff. And I mean, bonus point, we're not going into timeout, most likely, but now we're going to get another game 3 yet again today. Really back and forth one. Honestly, I think we have seen mostly game 3s throughout the day. And what do you think Aaron is trying to do now?
Well, I think he's definitely going to want to go first with his Dragon deck and do a little bit more of what he started with, which was, you know, setting up those Bystial synergies, as well as the Hieratic Dragon, you know, really powerful cards like that. And Poseidon going first. Maybe we're going to see those skill trades.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and also on the other side, Daniel, I think potentially, as we mentioned, he has 15 cards. So, I mean, so he has a lot. He does.
Yeah, he does.
So he has a lot of solutions, but I mean, we have to consider that, of course, you don't really want to overside decking,
Yeah,
you know?
So I think 15 is...
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Do you think you take out the Ishizu engine for going second, maybe?
You definitely can. It depends on the normal summons you have, but yeah.
Yeah, you take
might
out
as
the
well.
Book of Moons as well. I think
Yeah,
it makes
that's definitely
sense.
very weak.
For sure.
And yeah, I mean, also these 4, so you have 7 spots potential, and and then you also have 3 Ash Blossom in the main, which already help you out. And
Kinda, yeah. I don't even know if you keep those technically. Like, it's, yeah, it might not be the greatest in this matchup, but yeah. It depends the way he wants to approach it. But regardless, some of the impact cards, like the RP Feather Duster, the Kaijus, evenly matched, are coming in for Aaron. So let's see if he will be able, once again, to be on an X1 record. Who is gonna be? This is the last game for the day. You don't want to miss it. We're going to game 3 in round 9.
Well, gonna go first here with Aaron. It wasn't the most flashy or spectacular game 1 that he had previously, but is that Chaos Base Absoluter?
Yep,
That
yep,
is
yep.
probably, you know, one of my favorite 2-card interactions in this game. Absolutely. First of all, gonna start with the Bystial Rebellion.
I think he might have started things off very strong, because, yeah, he has Chaos Space with Absoluter. Yeah.
Nothing feels better than that. Especially if your opponent ashes you and you have a Gamma.
It's Space.
Wow.
Those were the my favorite dragon plays. All right. And
Are we going to see the Ash?
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Typically, you know, when you discard for cost like that and your opponent Ash Blossoms you, it's very, very heavy. But Absoluter triggers to get a Rocket Monster.
At least.
At least. Chaos Space, honestly, I have to say it's one of my more favorite recent cards. It's the synergy with the Collapse Serpent and the Wyver Burster printed almost like 10 years ago, and still those cards are phenomenal even until today.
Yeah, it was back in Shadow, right? They were played back then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The what did you call it? Just Chaos Shadow, I think. Yeah, normal
much,
summon Denko. Yeah.
Exactly.
Classic. All right. Also has the branded regained here, and yeah, we get to return and draw at some point probably. Boot Sector Launch is such an incredible card. It's typically a one-of that you play just because it's searchable with the Striker Dragon, and it gives you so much grind game as well if you ever end up in that situation. Every single turn you can special summon monsters up to the number maximum 2 that your opponent controls. So if your opponent ever just manages to deplete of your resource, they always have to consider Boot Sector Launch because you can just special summon both rockets or all of your rockets potentially, depending on how many they have every turn here.
Okay, and here is Romulus. Gonna get to the Dragon Reveal.
Yeah, the synergies between all of the different dragon archetypes being utilized in this deck over the years, it's amazing. Dragon Ravine, especially with some synchro plays with Destrido we've seen. Probably not playing it here, of course, but Ancient Fairy Dragon did come back recently, so worth a mention. Don't think we'll be seeing it here, but... So Absolutor has already been resolved. What do you typically want to go for with the Dragon Ravine?
It's we can check the targets, I guess, but
I think that is the one, most likely, because you already have the Rebellion in the graveyard as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so secondary targets like that potentially would be something like the Starliege Sephard, combining really well with the Levianir to add back from your graveyard.
And now we could see the Cow Space
returning
regardless.
The Striker Dragon. I think he's going to do it with Branded Regained, it looks like. A Branded Regained continuous spell card allowing to draw there by recycling the Romulus.
Okay, and finally the Seal comes down. Is it going to be the exact same opening as the previous game? It looks very
Seal's Pass, my favorite.
Yeah, I think only the trap is missing, but the Branded Beast, and maybe he's holding it face down, or he has an Infinite Permanence.
And some of the more powerful turn 1 plays you see with this deck is Borrow End. He is playing that.
Yeah.
But I think you need to draw a pretty good hand these days to really establish it. But sometimes if you're able to, you can end on something like Borrow End, Borrow Savage.
Let's see now if Daniel can somehow go through this. It's I mean, of course, the regain, we have seen that creates quite a few troubles by bringing back the Magnamud.
Yep. Listen, I'm going to be really disappointed if we can't deal with a single seal.
But it's a lot of monsters. And I do see Kelbeck, maybe, yeah?
He had drew the Sunflower as well.
Oh, the Mudora, yeah. The other, yeah.
He has multiple Runicks here. It could be an idea to go directly into Fountain, potentially. But decides to go for the Smiting Storm. And so the Runick cards are all like, have these pretty powerful effects like the Flashing Fire, the Freezing Curses. But because they all have that secondary effect to special summon, you want to use like the worst ones for the effect to special summon. So something like Smiting Storm, it just very simply just banishes 3 of your opponent's top of your deck in this situation anyway. So you want to use those ones first so you can always have potentially Flashing Fire and Curses live.
Ooh,
he had
this
the
impermanence is actually really nice. And here we had a decision from Daniel whether he wanted to discard the Sacred Tree or he wanted to discard the Shuffler. We'll see if that actually comes back to hurt him, but he gets the Blessing, so that's a fair deal.
I like that he verified the column there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've had a counter for this, but I think we had one Imperm incident a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
And and we could count a second for the Dark Angel, maybe. So a similar one, yeah.
So it never feels super bad to discard with Hugin when it's negated, when you're removing something like Sacred Tree, as it still gives you a replacement effect in the process.
Yep. Exactly like the Cow Space did with the Router.
So there is Mole Cricket, which is the special summon from the deck here, but... Oh, we're using this in chain, I think?
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Ooh, and that's nice, actually. Yeah, because now you get the negation guaranteed at the very end of the chain, which can potentially negate this seal.
So So Mole Cricket having the effect of special summon an interior monster from your deck, special summoning 2 from the deck if your opponent controls a monster here, so gets to go for double Camellia.
And neither Sacred Tree nor the Blessing are once per turn, so you can still do this and continue playing through.
The Sunflower as well, as you mentioned, is live here, so at any point in time, if Aaron has a disruption, we can just mill 2 off the top of the deck here to negate and destroy. But of course, remember, Seal has 2 effects. It is the effect to tribute, to bounce, obviously the most important one, but could potentially get a resource in the process.
And now we get the Coral, which actually, oh no, okay, he changed his mind. The Coral would have been cute because you had the Shuffler as well to discard.
Yep, and forcing something out in the process.
Yeah. Instead, goes for the Stardust. Let's see, gets a card.
Maybe he just feels he needs more Runick cards?
Yeah. I mean, you do get a draw out of it at the end of the day regardless. So.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
There's Baldrake.
Baldrake obviously also representing kind of an interruption by having this Magnamut on field. It can be attributed to Banish, but again, the Sunflower is there potentially to stop all of this from happening.
2 negates potentially if he really wants to, not just 1.
Yeah.
There it is.
Ooh.
First one. Ooh!
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. Does get to mill 5 here.
Yeah.
A Shuffler would be really good.
If he wants, let's see.
Yeah, he's considering it.
But of course, 1 activation of Sunflower was used. And this is really strong. At the same time, the only concern is, yeah, you don't have a battle phase, but it's totally fine at the moment.
All right, it looks like the Seal is finally going to be used here.
Mind negate, and he wasn't even using some weird target in the side deck, so yeah, you are gonna negate it with the Sunflower, it seems like, and then the Baron is once again up.
Yeah, there's just so much good value these Naturia cards here give you. The Sunflower effect to negate and destroy. Typically, you have to tribute 2 monsters, but you can use first the Camellia to mill 2 off the top, and that acts as a form of substitution. So 2 disruptions that Aaron had here in the Bystial and the Seal dealt with just by a single Mole Cricket, really.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see what he gets with the Seal. He already has access to, again, Levian here if he wants next turn with the Magnamut, but he's gonna get, okay, as last turn, the same.
Like you said, nothing particularly spicy in terms of the floating power for Hieratic Seal, but good follow-up. And Hieratic Seal also makes the monster have 0 attack and defense. So typically what you would do is just, okay, well, I'm just going to attack over it, but no battle phase, which means this effort is going to get those Chaos Dragons, which, as we mentioned, are amazing.
Yeah, potentially. At the same time, Baron, of course, is able to destroy a card, which could be that. But let's see.
Yeah, I think he has to go for it here. Recognizes the danger.
Yeah, Baron is back. It wasn't enough, to be fair, in the previous...
yeah, good point. Oh, actually decides to destroy the Branded Regains.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, especially because like it creates a lot of problems by itself by bringing back continuously monsters on the field.
Yeah.
Is this enough? Honestly, doesn't look like it.
It's pretty weak.
Like, it depends on the face down Runick card, maybe the Flashing Fire. It really depends on what that is. But
last card in hand is Medora, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Levian is huge.
Yeah.
I still think Aaron is in a really good spot. Like, maybe
Yeah,
not amazing, but like... Also, let's check some attack points, because at the worst case scenario, you can even just summon the Levian and not use the effect. And just, you know, crash into the Baron. So, let's see.
Well, you know, the funny thing here, you mentioned that actually is a really good play. So what you could do is set a special Levianeer, no effect, attack into the Baron, Sephert, get the Chaos Dragons, and then at some point you can banish the Sephert, return the Levianeer back to your hand, resummon it, and then use the destruction effect then. But does he want to sacrifice a battle phase? That's the thing.
Yeah, we have to see what he decides to go for. This will be a good lineup I would say. I mean, with the Mudora being left in Daniel's hand, it's just left the top deck. Here comes the Levian here. Let's see if he just wants to enter battle phase.
At the same time, though, we have the Camellia.
Yeah.
Because the Camellia gets back the Sunflower, right? And then we're back to square one. But I mean, to be fair, you can switch also the Magnamut, and okay, he does use the effect.
That's fine, right? Just makes it force out the Baron, you don't have to think about it.
I think. Oh wow.
He has a plan.
All right. Does not use this effort.
Interesting. I think it would have been a nice play, but I don't know. Let's see. The dark is
armor.
there. What?
What's the dark target?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna use it to get back the cricket. Okay.
Well, Philip is actually using the cricket here, it looks like, in response to your opponent special summoning him also from the extra
he's
deck.
using both Camellia and cricket. So
Right.
Camellia gets back the Sunflower and then the cricket's summoned.
Why the dark, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to see here. All right, let's see if Aaron has an answer to this. And yeah, that Sunflower's back online. That's really scary.
Okay. He's gonna use the cricket. No. Because he has the higher attacking monsters. I don't know. Yeah. Thinking about it. No, okay, he's good. Honestly, I did like that play where you just summon the Levianer, don't use the effect, they get back the Sunflower, but then you switch the Magnamut to attack potentially.
Mills too off the top of the deck here to use that Sunflower substitution in tandem with the Camellia to negate this effort, returning the Levianer from the deck, from the graveyard.
And now we see what you mentioned, the recurring part of Book Sector launch, where you can actually use it to summon back some rocket monsters.
Unfortunately, only has access to Tracer here. So reviving the Tracer is, well, you know, we've got something, but the problem is that the Sunflower is still online.
Yeah, that's the issue there, because, I mean, he needs to deal with that, but...
He can't just attack over it, right?
He could attack over it, yeah.
Okay.
We'll go battle phase, then in Memphis 3 using the Tracer. Okay, he wants to draw, so let's see what he... I don't know. Maybe would have entered battle phase would have been maybe the safest way. I think he's trying to fish for something out of his deck.
All right. I think it's interesting that we've, you know, we're using the draw. Oh,
Okay,
that's a big.
it's a nice one. Yep.
Yeah. So, at a minimum, I suppose we can go Striker LP. Sorry.
Yeah.
The other one. The other one.
He wishes, yeah.
All right. Red Eyes Darkness Meadow Dragon is searched from the deck here. So we'll be using it to bring itself out from the hand. And is it finally time for that battle phase? Let's see. Red Eyes Darkness Meadow Dragon allows you to...
It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is.
Time for a battle phase. Gonna attack over this Sunflower who has created enough problems in this duel, but not gonna be able to clear this Baron yet. And yeah, there is the flashing fire. Wow.
Do you think you should have maybe chained the Tracer to that?
I mean, it's definitely an option. Especially because the order then would have been also weird on the other side. Because at that point you use it, like they both kind of forgot about it. Because you would have used the flashing fire when the Sunflower was still on the field, you know? So that if they chain the Tracer, then you negate it with the Sunflower. But I guess 1 for 1 it is. And now we go back to just Aaron trying to combo through.
Oh!
Wow!
Scarlight Dragon Archfiend activating the effect here. Paying 1,000 life points? No, it doesn't pay. It burns.
No. It
for,
just burns for 500 for each.
Special summon the monster on the field, especially when we're ticking down here, 10 minutes on the clock. And that is going to inflict a decent chunk to Daniel's life points here, who has been depleted of all of his resources now.
What a turnaround of events.
Yeah, Bystial Rebellion now comes out. We got the follow-up with the Branded Beast. And Yeah, no, I think Aaron has just suddenly swung this through into an amazing position here.
What a grind game. And still no battle phase for Daniel on the upcoming turn, so.
Yeah, how much damage did we deal with that? I think it was almost like 25, I want to say, with that Scarlet. He
Probably
definitely puts him...
2,000, yeah.
Yeah, he's really far ahead here, especially as time is starting to tick down. And Daniel desperately trying to find an answer off the top of his deck here to deal with just a simple branded beast. Tribute to Destroy, card that your opponent controls. Let's see what he has here.
What is he looking for? He has the Mudora in hand. This is very, very difficult for him.
Oh, it's actually a Kelbeck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Same deal, basically.
Yeah. You draw a spell, right? But can't quite tell what was that.
I mean, that's the problem, right? You can't really do too much just with a singular Runick spell, you know? You do have to try and combo those together.
Keldo it is, and let's see. Yeah.
Slumber, Special Summon Jerry. And we can add back Fountain, but as mentioned, what are we really doing with the Fountain here?
Not much, and it seems like really Aaron is putting in some effort.
And Magnamut comes down here as well. Going to get a search for a dragon in the end phase. Has full control of the field, has a resource to be able to search in the end phase, and Philip has his back right up against the wall right now.
Really, really back and forth one with 8 minutes remaining down the clock. They're trying their best, but Daniel really, really in a tough spot. Again, honest job by Aaron, but it's getting things done, and yeah.
Just a normal summon Kelba. I mean, what can we do here?
Maybe an XYZ, an exit on night or something.
It's like last ditch effort. I mean, this branded beast is still up, so could just destroy here. The protection effect of Jerry is just when something is targeted, I think, or so Jerry can't be destroyed by card effects.
No, it's like when it's destroyed by battle, you pop one, but yeah,
okay,
it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Yeah.
All right. Well, as long as Aaron doesn't misplay, and I suppose try and attempt to destroy that, but regardless, I think he's just so far ahead at this stage that I'm not even certain it would actually matter that much.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have adjusted life points. It was 2,000 damage that was dealt, and yeah, Aaron just has to go through the motions here. That's a Zephyr. Starlight Zephyr going to be able to get those Chaos Dragons now.
Yeah, this is really, really tough for Daniel. Let's see if he just wants to turn everything to attack and call it a day.
You know, when you've gone so far ahead like this, it sometimes can feel overwhelming with the amount of decisions and options you have at this stage. You know, I mean, he's should have this game closed out in 7 different ways. You know, everything goes to attack mode here as we approach the end of this duel.
Just moments away from ending this game 3 and round 9, but again, gonna just play as safe as he can. We did it in the previous turn as well, when we thought he could just enter battle phase as soon as possible, but it seems like he's really taking his time in this match.
Are you surprised to be seeing Dragon just still holding its own after
most
so long?
Most likely, just moments away from being 8-1, or potentially, but yeah. Here we see the Keldo being activated to just get rid of this Levian here.
So finally using the Starlight effect here. First it was met with a negate, and now it's going to be met with a Kelbeck to spin it back into the deck here. I think he's recycling some of his own resources here, but it's really not going to matter too much, I think. Just go back into the deck, and yeah, Aaron is just going through the motions, as you've said.
Shuffling back these cards, accomplishing saving time from when he's gonna pick up the rest, but yeah.
Now, the thing with Dragons is, you know, as I mentioned, they've got so many different versions and different iterations of the type of deck list we're playing. it seems like they've really just come into their own with the Bystials, haven't they?
Absolutely,
yeah. I mean,
it's
time
great
and
synergy.
again, honestly. The deck has shown up how powerful it is time after time, and
Are we gonna see it? Are we gonna see it?
The OG
Wow.
old school LP. I mentioned it accidentally earlier, but there it is. Hieratic Dragon of Atum. Special
Yeah.
summon any dragon monster from the deck here. And it looks like we're going to wall up with those cricket effect here. Ash Blossom! Oh my god, Aaron is just so far ahead now. Would you even summon at this point? I mean, you just literally anything.
He's just flexing. Let's
Yeah,
be
it
honest.
really is.
Like, imagine
Oh,
you,
no.
you get Nibiru here, but yeah.
Yeah, activate Fountain from my hand to tribute your field. Alright, summons another copy of the Starlead Sephir. Does the Atum put it to 0 attack and defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ever played the Hieratic version of Dragons, Marcello?
Way back in the day, yeah. Even before in 2013, when you could play them with the Dragon Rulers. It was a deck on its own, so I did play Hieratic Pure, but like we're talking more than 10 years ago, literally. So like, yeah, another era. If you would have told me back in 2023 you would have this at the very last round of a YCS and going 8-1, yeah, I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
Okay, going all in.
wow. Okay.
Just what? Wow. Okay. Let's just bounce back Unicorn with Unicorn. Just cause. Yeah. Okay.
All right, spins away the Gary here and leaving Daniel with only a Runick Fountain in the hand here. Does he have anything in the graveyard, actually? I'm starting to get a little bit worried.
Yeah, it's
Have
like,
we overplayed this a little?
exactly. Yeah, he looks a little confused on what just went through, but okay, he does have the Levian here. This time he's not gonna use the effect, probably, or let's see.
Well, this is...
No, he can use it to reborn, right? And
yes,
then-
but then it can't attack, right?
Yeah, but then you have game with the
And then you use the red MD and then red MD bring back.
and exactly what he's gonna do.
Oh, I love this. Well, I mean...
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna go again. Rank 4.
Access, integrate.
Yeah, this is
There it
this is
is,
really more than
the
needed.
end of the
Okay. Nice handshake, and it is Aaron who gets the round of applause from the crowd. Congratulations to both. Really a great way to end an amazing day of dueling and now incredible rounds. If you've missed any of the content, just feel free to go back and watch any of the action that you might have missed. But what a day it has been, really. A lot of duelists from all over the world, a lot of different decks. It has been a pleasure to be here with you guys and, you know, that's some commentary about these decks. And now, do we even have, before heading out into Ed, I want to ask you one more question. See, we never had the chance. Because usually me and Alberto go through the meta discussion for the event, and we have our little bet or more curse from Alberto on what deck is he gonna win it. And I think it has never been more difficult to answer, so let's just do it. So what do we think is gonna win? One by one. Alberto.
Me first, sure.
No, you last, yeah, let's you last is more fitting. So Nadir, please, pick any deck.
Do you have a dice?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't think a dice is enough. We need like a D20. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's so many different options here, honestly. It really is just any deck's game at this point. I'm gonna go out there and say that I think some sort of sprite version is gonna take this one down.
Okay,
That's my opinion. What do you think?
Fair enough. Then I'm gonna take just the dark horse out there and go for a trap deck just to make you a little more mad. I'm gonna go for Labyrinth. Why not? Never gonna happen, but let's do it. And then.
And I'm picking Despia, guys. So
Okay,
something
nice.
out of the ordinary.
No Spia.
Yeah, no Spia.
No Spia, exactly. But again, guys, thank you for being with us. It has been a pleasure. This was the last round for the day. But now let's hear it from the man himself, Ed.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, Aaron there taking that round 9, our final round of our coverage today. And thank you very much, guys, for being with us for these last couple of rounds as we come to the end of our first day of coverage here at the 250th YCS in London. It's been a great day. Remember, tomorrow we have even more coverage coming to you on YouTube and Twitch, and that's going to be at 9 a.m. local time, 10 a.m. CET. So that's in about just under 11 hours, 10 hours and 50 minutes if you really want me to be precise. But thank you very much for joining us today. If you guys need more Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG coverage before tomorrow's coverage, you guys can head over and watch the 250th YCS Los Angeles, which is happening right now on the North American channels as well, on both YouTube and Twitch. So make sure you check those out if you just need to satiate that Yu-Gi-Oh! Appetite a little bit before tomorrow. This has been great fun. I've been Ed Templey, your host for the day, and I will be back tomorrow in, like I said, just under 11 hours with even more coverage, 3 more rounds of Swiss, then it's that top 64 cut, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, and then we're into that final. It's always very exciting to see what happens, and we hope to see all of you guys there. We will see you all in about 11 hours, 9 a.m. local time, 10 a.m. CET. Thank you very much, everyone, and good night.